CBS News has learned that federal prosecutors will not bring charges against any New York City police officer involved in the death of Eric Gardner.
We begin tonight with that chilling piece of video live streamed on Facebook in the moments after a man is shot by police. Governor of Minnesota asking, would this have happened if those passengers were white? He said, I don't think so.
Michael Brown, Tamir Rice, Freddie Gray.
And then I will light you up. Get out!
Wow.
Now!
Sandra Bland, Walter Scott.
Stop fire. Subject, get down.
And so many more.
Please, 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 I can't breathe. Please, man. Please, somebody help me. Please.
Welcome everybody, welcome to another edition of Dropping Gems for the Youth. Today we are doing a special topic today, something that's near and dear to a lot of people's hearts right now. With everything that's going on in the world right now, today we're going to be discussing the George Floyd topic. As you all know, or if you haven't seen, this brother, he had passed away earlier this week due to not being able to breathe by the hands of a police officer. So it has been causing a lot of rioting, strife against a lot of people, and mostly black people. And we get the questions as to why is this happening to us? Why are the police killing so many black men? And we are here today to give you guys those answers as to why that is happening. So I want to welcome Michaela, and also I want to welcome today Jacob. He is going to be providing biblical references behind what we discussed today. So without further ado, let's get into the video.
Hello everyone. So before we even dive in, we actually have a few facts on George Floyd. So the protests raged in Minneapolis over the death of George Floyd, a 46-year-old black man who died after an officer pinned Floyd's neck under his knee. And the investigation into the incident and the other officers involved are ongoing. It is the latest in long series of fatal encounters between black men and white police. And to be honest, I don't even really have to read in depth the situation because this is an ongoing situation. This isn't something new.
And a lot of things have been happening just everywhere around the world since his passing. I mean, we have rioted in California, Atlanta. We even had some here in Charlotte the other day. And it's, you know, it's sad to see that a lot of people are getting in an uproar. You know, they want to go, you know, march. They want to go riot and protest and think that this stuff is going to solve things. But we're here to tell you that that's not the case. These are the curses that the Lord said was going to happen to us. This is the curses that have been bestowed upon us due to the transgressions of our ancestors. You know what I'm saying? This has been passed on from generation to generation. And, you know, I know just with me and how I, you know, discuss things with people, they don't even, you know, a lot of people don't want you to get all biblical and all churchy. And I'm not here to do that. All I'm here to do is edify that person and just explain to them, because, you know, there has to be, I was telling some friends of mine the other day, because they were asking me, they said, as you guys being black men, do you fear, you know, every day going outside of your home? And I was just like, you know, to be honest with you, yeah, it's a scary thing. You know what I'm saying? Every day to walk outside your house and don't have no assurance of your life, don't know if you're going to make it back home to your family, like, that is, you know, that's deep. And I was just kind of, you know, explaining to them, it's like, in order to understand why these things are happening, you have to have a substance to why these things are happening. And we can only date it back to biblical prophecy. The Bible states all of these things was going to happen to our people, the black people, the original Jews, the original Christians. We were supposed to carry this word out to all people in all nations, but we dropped the ball on that. And the Lord said for us dropping that ball, this is what was going to happen to us. But I don't want to share and give you my what ifs or me just saying that. I'm going to direct that to the Bible. So if Jacob, if you can please turn to Daniel 9 and read verse 11, please.
All right. Daniel 9, chapter 11. Yeah, all Israel have transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore the curse is poured upon us, and the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of God, because we have sinned against him.
So right here in verse 11, it said that they might not obey thy voice, therefore the curse is poured upon us. So again, we wasn't obeying the Lord's voice when he was giving us the commandments, and when he administered the commandments to Moses to pass down to all the other people. So again, this is where I talk about this is passed down from generation to generation. We sinned, the Lord got angry with us, and now look at the conditions that we are in. You're seeing black people. Why do you see black people getting killed more than the white man or other nations? I'm not, and please, I'm not here to say that other nations are not killing each other. I'm not saying that, because I know that happens every day. But what I'm saying is, what is the majority, exactly, what is the majority of the people being killed today? What is the majority of the people being killed by the hand of the police? Who is the majority of the people killing one another? And who is the majority of the people hid away in the prison houses as far as jail? So, Jake, you got any other scriptures to back that?
Deuteronomy 28, 65 through 66. Again, that is Deuteronomy 28, 65 through 66. And if you have your Bible, please follow along, because this is very important, and we need you to read this. So go ahead.
And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind. And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shalt have none assurance of thy life.
Now, who does that sound like? That sounds like the average black person in America, the average black person in the world. We never know. Like, I know I'm not the only one who had that feeling. You could be minding your business, and then you might see a police drive by, and you tripping. You're tripping because you think they're going to address you, and you're doing the right thing, but it's like you still don't have that comfort of, I'm good, you know?
Exactly. And I think you got a testimony to back that up with your encounters with, you know, the police officers.
Oh, when I got
just as far as like pulling you over, you know.
Oh yeah, I have several encounters of being pulled over. Yeah. And it's more so for the simple fact that it's like they will stereotype you, you know, they don't care. It's like if you're around somewhere that don't look like you quite belong, they're going to say something to you, and you have to go through with that prosecution. And my thing is like, it's a hard feeling, y'all. Like, I done had my moments. I'm not perfect. I done had my moments where this flesh got, you know, like, what's up, you know, because it's just like, why? Like, what did I do? I'm just driving my car. Why do you need to see all my information to validate I'm supposed to be here or I'm not supposed to be here? That's a headache, y'all, and I know that feeling. That's why we're coming to you, not on no preachy, you know what I'm saying? We're not like that because we're the millennials, you know what I'm saying? We know what it's like, and we're giving you the biblical reference because this is what's putting us at peace right now. Like, right now, like I said, I wouldn't say we don't feel no type of way. It's just one of those things. It's like, our remembrance of faith, we gotta just trust in the Lord.
Exactly.
And this is a spiritual warfare, because this flesh ain't doing nothing but making things worse.
Yeah.
We're tearing up our own communities, y'all.
And she's absolutely right. Like we're young and we're in this truth, and you know what I'm saying. And we get so much backlash and pressure because we're young, but yet we're seeking the Lord. You know what I'm saying. We're trying to have a connection with Him. He's our only safety. You know what I'm saying. Like that's the only way we can get comfort at the end of the day. Because me personally, being a black man in America, it's hard. Like Deuteronomy 28 and 66, that speaks real. That speaks some real stuff to me, because every day, you know what I'm saying, I'm married, you know what I'm saying, I have a wife. So every day I go out and step out to even go to work, it's always in the back of my mind, like, you never know if you're going to make it back home. And then you got so many other people relying on you.
And not only that, let's keep it real, you're darker.
Yeah,
it's darker complexion.
And you know what I'm saying, it doesn't just stop from there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We follow the scriptures and we understand how we're supposed to conduct ourselves outside of the household. But like I said, because of these curses that's been passed on from generation to generation, we still are in captivity. You know what I'm saying? We're serving the Lord in captivity. And again, like Michaela said, we just have to keep that faith.
Okay, you guys. So to elaborate on what Jordan was saying, we're going to read James 4, 8 through 10. Again, that is James 4, 8 through 10. And Jacob's going to read.
Draw nigh to God, and He will draw nigh to you. Cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded.
So look, see what James 4 is saying. It's saying, draw nigh to God. Draw near to the Lord, especially during this time of destruction and chaos. Draw near to the Lord. Go ahead, Jacob.
Be afflicted and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned to mourning, and your joy to heaviness.
So see right here, even though we're being afflicted right now, this is where the faith comes in, because it's like, yes, even though we're in this chaos, we're in this destruction, rioting going on, you know what I'm saying, the police brutality, you still have to conduct yourselves according to what the scriptures say. You still have to conduct yourselves with the mindset of, no matter what's going on in the world, I'm going to be serving this truth, no matter what. Because at the end of the day, this is our safety.
I'm sorry, y'all. This is the spirit right here. I got to add to that. Jordan said something, and this certain scripture hit my mind just now. Hold on, y'all. I got it.
And that's the good thing about this, you know what I'm saying? Letting that spirit flow around us. We're just having a conversation with you, and like we were saying, the most important thing that we're trying to do here is try to edify. We're not trying to judge. We're not trying to tell you to convert over to this. All we're trying to do is drop that gem, and if you take it in, you know, God bless, because you could be this very soul that we just brought in. So it's all praises to the Lord at the end of the day. We take no credit whatsoever.
Not only that, during the Great Awakening is happening, so a lot of y'all coming just flowing in.
Just
and
flowing
that's
in. One of these answers, again, like we were stating earlier, you are asking these questions. Why is this stuff going on in the world? Why are the police killing black people? What did I do to deserve this? And like I said, that's why we're here to discuss this, you know what I'm saying, of everything that's going on.
So the scripture that came to my mind when Jordan said what he said was Romans 8 and 35. Again, that is Romans 8 and 35. Who shall separate us from the love of Christ? Shall tribulation, or distress, or prosecution, or famine, or nakedness, or peril, or sword? And right now, we going through a lot, y'all. And this is like tribulation. This is something that is not of the norm. It's chaotic. A lot of it, to be real with y'all, a lot of y'all done lost y'all's way. And this is just millennial to millennial. Y'all not even out there for George. Let's just be real. Let's just be real. A lot of y'all are out there because y'all hurt. A lot of y'all out there because we've been locked down with this coronavirus. We done been in the house. We don't got no money as it is. Y'all done spent y'all stimulus check. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of it's just it's like we following each other.
And it's affecting us mentally too, because like she said, you're all cooped up in the house. You don't know what to do.
Some of y'all don't know y'all true feelings. Y'all out here because y'all are followers. And we need to be following the Most High.
Exactly, cousin. I mean, that's very important, because like she said, this coronavirus, you know, that has been keeping us, you know, so confined with ourselves. We get a little bit of freedom, but then something else takes place, and now we want to get, you know, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter.
And we don't care about
you know what I'm saying? And we don't care about each other. So we saying Black Lives Matter when the police are killing us. But yet, again, as I stated, you should have, you know what I'm saying, your life was always going to hang in doubt. So we killing each other at the end of the day. Let's just be real.
We helping them.
You know, we pretty
they
much
not helping us right now because they know we killing each other.
Exactly.
They sitting back and just watching. Exactly. They don't have to do anything because, let's just be real, we're stealing from each other. Those businesses that got broken into in Atlanta, we know Atlanta has a lot of, African American descendants and all that kind of stuff. We know that's there. My thing is, we're stealing from each other. A lot of us probably don't have the proper insurance because we're all learning. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, that's all y'all care about.
And we not uplifting each other.
A moment of fame, too. A lot of y'all just going on live for clout.
Exactly.
And this ain't even clout. Because at the end of the day, your grandmama got to wake up in the morning and go to the store. Yeah. And she can't go to the store. You know what I'm saying?
Again, we're not thinking about the cause and effect of our actions, and that's very important.
We don't have to grow nothing. We got to go to the grocery store.
Exactly. Because no matter what it is, Israel, without the lack of, with lack of knowledge comes destruction. And that's 100% true. I feel personally about that because we don't really take the time to sup with the Lord as he commands us to do. We don't take the time to read what it is to get salvation. Why? My biggest issue is why is it always a problem with us trying to serve the Lord? We're young. What's the problem with that? I don't understand why you are lame for serving the Most High the way that he tells us to. You know what I'm saying? I always literally, I've been having these thoughts in my mind like everything is temporary. You know what I'm saying? The whole worldly pleasures, all of that, I don't even want them. Like, if I just work my regular 9 to 5 the rest of my life, I'm cool with that because at the end of the day, all of this stuff is temporary. You know what I'm saying? None of this is coming to you. Exactly. Just prayer. Like, I want to make sure that I'm getting into the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the most important thing.
And the day y'all stop caring about what other people say, that's the day where I can say you're coming close to God. And Jacob gonna finish off James 4 and read verse 10.
Humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord, and he shall lift you up.
So see, as he was saying, humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord. So that means come to him with total humility. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't come to him prideful or nothing like that. You got to come to him humble and really seek his help and really seek his guidance. And, like I said, have that connection with him and that relationship with him to better understand what's going on and really understand why these things are happening the way they're happening.
And also to touch on the basis of, we don't know it all, and we don't expect y'all to know it all. It's a growing process, like things like this is what actually brings people to God. It's not always, like being preachy. You don't want that. Nobody's going to receive you when you just knock them upside the head with stuff. Exactly. You got to meet people where they're at, and this is the best opportunity to do so because everybody's question is why. Yeah. Everyone wants to know why. Yeah. And with that why question comes research. With that why question comes humility because anybody can bring anything to you at this very moment. But in order for you to receive them, you have to just listen. Sometimes you got to do a little less talking and just look around. You know what I'm saying? Just pick up on the energy. If you think everything about to be good after this, you're wrong. Yeah. You're definitely wrong. There's no vibe of everything gonna be alright. It hasn't been alright. Yeah. And go ahead.
And just like how, everybody's saying, well, are we ever gonna go back to some sense of normalcy? And it's like, no. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, this is all prophecy. That whole thing before COVID-19, that's no longer coming back. It's COVID-19 to whatever the Lord else he got planned for us. Right. Like, that's how we got to start thinking. And like I said, having things like this to where you can come and listen to stuff that motivates you, something that uplifts you, that's what we need. But we need to make sure that it's according to what the Lord wants, because at the end of the day, like she was saying, we're not trying to sound preachy, we're not trying to do none of that. All we're trying to do is edify you and give you that understanding. So
what I wanted to leave you guys with is this. This is only if we understood that this is a spiritual battle. The Most High gave us the blueprint to win this battle. Most have given up on God. I get it. How can you keep the faith when it looks like his hands isn't moving? When we keep his laws and commandments, like a father has his child, he has us. Things are not upside down for no reason. We We are so far from him, it's not even funny. I wish we had the same energy amongst a black on black crime. If we knew who we were, my black people, biblically, Deuteronomy 28:15 through 68, we are the salt of the earth, a royal priesthood, and God's chosen. You were fearfully and wonderfully made, most importantly, loved. God called us to be prophets among the nations. You don't know that because we have been fed false doctrine. Knowing who you are is the biggest fear and threat to the superior race. With knowledge comes power. Have you ever thought about how every nation of people follow after us, good or bad? Let's get real. The way we talk, the way we dress, the way we dance, etc. The whole movement started off the strength of a black voice. Imagine if we set the tone in a positive way, positive meaning with our drastic change in behavior. Imagine understanding entirely that the Father's word does not return void. Vengeance is the Lord's. He is going to repay. He sees it all. With that said, you want to be found on the right side of the sword. The Father is going to make war with the saints. We have to put on the armor of God, and that is Ephesians 6:10 through 18. We can't stop biblical prophecy. We must pray for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. In life.
And for all the people who just, oh, we need reparations from slavery time. Like I said, this is all temporary. We don't want reparations. We want the kingdom.
We want the homeland. We want
the kingdom.
Yes.
That's all we want. So again, for all my people out there, and I'm not just this particular video, we talking about George Floyd. Rest in peace to that brother. You know what I'm saying? He did lose his life senselessly to police brutality. But again, when you have understanding about what the word says, you understand the reason for his death. And I know that could be messed up in a certain way to certain people that perceive that differently. But when you really gain that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, you know that it's only what has to go on in order for the Lord's prophecy to be fulfilled. So again, rest in peace to that brother. You know what I'm saying? This is the struggle that we living in every day. This world is getting wickeder and wickeder every day. And like I said, for myself, it is truly hard being a black man in this state, and for any other country rather that we have black people in. It's hard for us because again, we disobeyed God's laws. You know what I'm saying? We didn't follow his commandments the way he wanted us to. And now look what's happening.
Finish that. So Jacob read, and to complete this entire video, Matthew 24:12. Again, that is Matthew 24:12. Jacob's going to actually just complete everything.
And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold.
And that right there, like she said, sums it up. So we want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in to another video with Dropping Gems for the Youth. Thank you to all our SOG members, #Gem Squad, for continuing to support us.
Thank you.
Even when we, aren't on as much, we thank you guys for the support, and it's all love over here. So we love you guys truly and deeply, and we pray that you learned something today. So without further ado, we want to just again.
And thank you to Jacob, our reader. He's our brother. He actually wants to be a reader, y'all. So drop his name in the comment section. Like, look, come on, bro. Be on the next episode.
Tell him to come back. You know what I'm saying?
We need all of it.
And like I said, this is something very important that we all need to learn. Like I said, and we need to know. We are just trying to uplift our young people and anybody for that matter. You know what I'm saying? Bring anybody along to listen to this, because again, as servants of God, we have to carry out this message no matter what it is, no matter who thinks it's lame, crazy. Just know that you're doing a service for yourself by helping somebody else. Again, guys, we want to just thank you very much for listening to the video. We hope you guys have a blessed one.